flag. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. That's makes sense. That's what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
That's what that is. But that's why they keep putting up on it. You gotta be on. Let me know. So, I thought she was kind of vague about that. They go on the other things, and you know they have other priorities. Everybody talking. That's the white defense. Because every time we get these white folks in, they fall off. Man, she almost 80-something years old, bigger than me, better. She been trying to get down there. She talking about, oh, I see that thing world. She had some dudes standing in the house trying to find. Matter of fact, you had to call Betty. Then she had some clients for you too. Yeah, for residency. You gotta check it out with her.
That's a cool house. That's stateful.
Right. But you know, that's what she was doing. She was happy, I know. But that time, I know where he could stay at. He got me rolled out.
Mark you on.
Okay. Go ahead and ask me a question. Go ahead.
What's your understanding of the Lucasville riot that happened over 30 years ago?
The Lucasville riot was a result of the state repression. The governor and the contentions and the indifference and neglect or what have you. And the railroading and the extra legal affairs to undermine and persecute the prisoners.
Well, why would you say prisoner who's already locked up was involved with a government? Why would you say that?
Well, I'm saying the neglect. The whole Ohio Department of Rehabilitation, which is under the governor's control, the director, which flows on down.
But the government is just trying to maintain a solid economic structure.
Well, I think when we talk about the government, it's at the top in terms of policy, control, and what goes on. You fire and hire the Ohio Department of Corrections. The Ohio Department of Corrections director hired a warden. Okay? So it flows from the top on down.
Okay.
If I don't want something happening, it ain't gonna happen.
But how would these prisoners be directly affected with the governor when?
Because of the policies and neglect and the apathy. At that time, it was one of it, who else? And, the other governor. Then you go down there, we was talking about Arthur Tate. Arthur Tate answered to the director of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation, am I right?
Yes, sir.
And the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation answered to the governor.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay? That's how it works. So if they want to fire him and say he ain't doing a good job, that's it. That's all. Now, whatever he do in terms of abuse or whatever, be sure they either know about it, heard about it, can intervene or don't intervene.
But how nice can the governor be to some criminal felons who committed crimes against society?
Well, I would say it's an issue of not necessarily committed crime. I think it's more about whether you want to be, as you want to be equitable, as they say, fair, human rights, and all that, or either you're a hypocrite, you know. And my position is, that's a front, you know.
What's it a front for?
Because they don't give a damn. They don't care. But I got to say certain things that make it look right. If I got a suit and tie, I'm in the governor's office, I can't get robbed off with you. But I'm going to play it off. But at the end of the day, the conditions are not going to change. Number two is, you asked me about the governor, this, that, and the third. Understand what really, I've been acting. I've talked to Mr. Chalene about this for a child. I sit up and talk to other country and you and this and that. These experiences of black trauma, abuse, neglect, and crime, and having to defend yourself against predation, they really do not have any clue and don't care. So it is very, very formative. Those, I have relatives, those who commit, or allegedly commit crimes in a white society are considered throwaways. I've talked to Mr. Chavembe. What was it like about what, I swear to God, I didn't know nothing about what he was talking about, age out foster home. What's that? ADHD, bipolar. Many of the brothers got a bipolar. They've been abused in foster home. I was getting a lift the other day. I said, he said, we used to work at Units 4 guys. He said, no, I used to work at like a little halfway house. Most of them was foster home. ADHD, he said, they talk about killing your mama, doing this and doing this. All this part of the society spent on people. Well, they said, I couldn't work at no more. And see, when we talk about murder, ag murder and all that, most of the brothers come from that environment. Their mom was a prostitute, they was raped one day. You know about it. It's all in the group notes, am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
What, Mr. Chavembe?
For what?
Decline.
Oh, you had a variety,
I'm talking about they been raped and beat up and foster care, all that.
Neglected, raising themselves, hustling. Some people that, told me that I work with, told me, man, I got put out when he was about 12. That means he had to hustle. Mama was strung out, he had to take care of himself. At one point in time, he slang to feed his mother dope so she wouldn't be out there strawberrying. So that trauma, when you get all of that after a while, you get numb to certain things. And you do certain things.
Let me give you an example.
That's a hard, just so your mama won't go out, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think that one is.
Can a white, now I'm not condoning it either, but can a white person understand that? A white middle class person understand that? I'm not condoning it, I'm just talking about surviving.
We all know.
And that's not all, that's not a monolith for black society, I'm just saying.
Society is hard for everybody. However, there's duty don't. Always have to be rules. There's no rules,
Really.
there's total chaos.
That's right.
So therefore, let's go back to Lucasville too. There's rules that the prisoners was expected to follow and abide by. They chose not to. Now 30 years later, we have 5 that's still on death row for the guard killing, and you got some others that's for other miscellaneous deaths. What now
They need it for the camera.
is at this position for their lives?
And, of course, mostly African Americans were involved, allegedly involved, and whatnot. But we know the system isn't just. You're going to get railroaded.
Have you ever been incarcerated?
Not on a prison level. I would say a county, city, a place like Highland Hills. But I never did no bid. But I grew up around individuals who did. I've worked as a case manager. Worked with individuals coming home, state, time and whatnot, telling the story. I've had an AB on my case file before and whatnot. I've had guys that did long bits, did short bits, you repeat offenders and whatnot. So as a black person, working with that population, I didn't like it. because I saw the way they were being treated and being used. A lot of
Double standard.
oh, most definitely. Being a black man, growing up in this country, you know there's double standard as far as how you're going to be treated by the police and by the state. You know, you're going to, if you're black, oftentimes you don't have a second chance. I work with young white youth who have broken into houses. No, take that back. Who have stole guns out of houses at parties, get a slap on the wrist, go to diversion programs, go to treatment. Okay, and I've seen it. I've worked with young youths who have been aged out of foster care, who got caught up into the system because they were homeless, didn't have a support system, commit a crime or whatever, and go to jail.
What was
First offender.
What was you working out of?
Oriana House on 55th. I worked with the VOA on Walton, off West 25th. I worked down at the county, Children and Family Services. You know, so I mean, working at Oriana House, working with individuals, like I said, coming out of state penitentiaries. Oriana got contracted by the state, you know, and county, because they were, and federal. They were dealing with federal, state, and county. Okay, I'm going to deal with the state and county. Oftentimes these guys didn't have any support. Okay, and my job was to try to get them permanent housing. That's the main thing coming out of, from my experience working with individuals coming out of the joint, is to try to get them some stable housing. It's to assess if you have any chemical dependency issue, any drug problem, because you know you can get high in the joint and have an addiction. That don't mean because you locked up you can't get a hold. We all know that. Okay,